Hi there, I'm Tiffany Rodius from the Guyana Revenue Authority. This week we focus on the Tax Practice Certificate. We'll look at who should apply for the certificate, the annual fees, and we'll hear from professionals who are the holders of tax practice certificates. This is Focus on GRA. At the beginning of each year, a professional is required by law to obtain a practice certificate from the GRA. An annual fee is required for that certificate. Here's more. Professionals and preparers of returns who are holders of a tax practice certificate have up to February 28, 2022 to pay the annual fee for the renewal of the certificate. The annual fee for professionals is $10,000, while preparers of returns fee is $20,000.
For those persons who are continuously practicing, they're only required to ensure that they file their tax returns in a timely manner, make an application for a renewal of their practice, and pay the required professional fee.
The first schedule of the Tax Act outlines the professionals that are required to apply for a tax practice certificate. Those professionals are accountants, architects, auditors, dentists, engineers, legal practitioners, medical practitioners, optometrists, pharmacists, physiotherapists, surveyors, veterinary surgeons, and preparers of returns. Assistant Commissioner of Tax Compliance and Enforcement, Melissa Romeo, explains why professionals need to apply for a tax practice certificate.
You must apply for the certificate in order for you to commence practicing in whichever field you want to practice. Professionals, it is important for you to obtain your practice certificate so you can have it displayed at your place of practice.
The GRA has introduced a simple and straightforward application form for the tax practice certificate. This replaces the compliance form that was previously used when applying. You can find the form by searching for professional fee application on the GRA's website. New professionals or preparers of returns who wish to be certified to practice in their field can do so at any time throughout the year. The professional fee for first-time applicants is $25,000, while preparers of returns pay $20,000.
You are required to first obtain a letter from that body responsible for being an attorney, or the body that is responsible for being in the medical field, which is the medical council. That body will issue you with a confirmation letter or an acceptance letter to say that you are part of this body. When you receive that letter from that particular professional body, you make a request to the Commissioner General along with your qualification and experience, include that letter in an application, and you apply for your practice certificate.
In addition to the written request, you will need to provide copies of your qualifications and valid identification, such as a national ID card or passport. Continuous and new professionals are expected to be compliant with the requirements for filing tax returns and paying taxes in accordance with the Income Tax Act.
Professionals, you're encouraged to ensure your returns are filed in a timely manner, ensure your taxes are paid, or make arrangements to settle any amount that is due and payable. You're also reminded that when you make your payment for the professional fee, that's not the end of it. You are required to request from the Commissioner General your practice certificate.
A tax practice certificate is valid for 1 year commencing January 1 and ending December 31 in the year it is issued. The GRA publishes a list of all the certified professionals on its website. It is important to note that a professional who works for the state is exempt from applying for a tax practice certificate. However, if the professional is also engaged in private practice, then he or she will have to apply for the certificate. Exemption from application for the tax practice certificate also applies to professionals who are wholly employed with a business that does not offer services of the same nature. For example, if a medical practitioner is employed with a mining company, that person is not required to apply for a tax practice certificate. The application process for a tax practice certificate is not as complicated as it sounds. We invited some professionals to share their experience on the application process.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm joined by two professionals in private practice, Mr. Vishwamint Ramnarayan. He's the senior partner in the accounting firm PKF Barcelos Narayan and Company. And I'm also joined by Mr. Dindial Saw. He's a tax consultant. Mr. Narayan's firm is located at the corner of Lamaha and Carmichael Streets. It focuses primarily on assurance services, but it also provides other related services to clients, such as taxation, accounting, advisory services, liquidation, etc. Its services are offered to small, medium, and large-scale companies, individuals, sole traders, and partnerships. Mr. Narayan has been in private practice for more than 20 years. Mr. Dindial Saw has been in practice for over 57 years. He offers tax consultancy services to individuals, sole traders, and partnerships. His practice is located at his Barima Avenue residence. And like several other professionals in private practice, both men are required to apply to the GRA for a practice certificate each year. I'll begin by asking Mr. Narayan about his experience with obtaining a practice certificate. Was it easy for you, Mr. Narayan?
Well, for me, it was pretty easy because I was a member of the local institute. I was a ACCA member. I had obtained my practical experience. So I was able to complete my application and get my reference and provide my certificate, which made my application very, very straightforward. The GRA would have accepted my certificates and my recommendations that I had.
Great. So, have you had any challenges obtaining a practice certificate in any particular year? And do you know of other professionals who encountered challenges and who would have complained about it?
I've known of people that applied and that I would have recommended, and it was a pretty smooth process for them once they've got all their documents in place, which is either a qualification or the experience along with their recommendation. However, we do get issues where sometimes GRA takes a while to get back to them. And even the renewal process, that also takes a while. I mean, we should be able, GRA can implement a little faster system where once you would have had your practice certificate before, it should only take a day or 2 days to really just turn up, pay. I mean, similar to a vehicle license, you just present the old one. And once you present evidence that you had one before, they should be able to renew it. Unless GR implement a system where you need to redo back the entire process. But time is essential for people. And that's one thing GR should work on, the turnaround period, and maybe implement a system where it becomes automatically renewable once you have had one before. So yes, implement stricter system at the initial vetting process and then automatic renewal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishwamint, for your insight. Over to Mr. Dindial Saw. Tell us, Mr. Saw, about the tax consultancy profession.
Well, in this profession, Fabian, you meet taxpayers with whose records are up to date and some who are not up to date. It is your task to give them some guidance and assist them to bring their records in accordance with the Income Tax Act that is required.
Well, Mr. Saw, as you are aware, February 28th, that's the due date for professionals in private practice to complete the application process and payment of the professional's fee for the certificate. Have you started the process?
My practice certificate, it's up there on the wall for 2021. As I said, I will shortly apply because I was not in the country, you know. I shortly would apply. I have the forms for the 2022. But I am up to date. That is up to 2021 on the wall.
Well, I'll ask you the same question that I asked Mr. Ramnarayan. Have you had challenges obtaining your practice certificate in a timely manner?
Sometimes in dealing with the GRA, I find it has been slowed down in communication, responses, and such like on. I understand due to COVID-19, things will not be as how it should. So we have to make provision for that. I do hope, though, that when COVID-19 comes to an end, that things will improve at the GRA. All right? The slowdown is understandable because of COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dindi also and Mr. Vishwamint Ramnarine for sharing your perspectives on the practice certificate. Remember February 28th, that's the due date for professionals to complete the application process and pay the professional fee to obtain their practice certificate.
Monday, February 14 is Valentine's Day, the day of love. However, let's not forget, February 14 is also the due date for employers to submit their pay-as-you-earn PAYE returns. Employers know exactly what they're required to do, but let's repeat for emphasis. The Income Tax Act requires employers to submit a return on the 14th of every month, declaring the total income paid to each employee for the previous month and the statutory deductions, NIS contributions, and income tax deducted. Sign up for an e-services account and submit your returns online to avoid the last-minute rush or missing the deadline.
And finally, our tax specialist Susan Watson answers frequently asked questions in relation to the tax practice certificate.
This week's questions will be on practice certificate for professionals in private practice. I'm here with tax specialist Susan Watson to answer questions we have been receiving via social media. Susan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards.
Our question is from Keisha Allen. What are the requirements to obtain a practice certificate for the first time?
Okay, the first time applicants must submit the following: a completed application form, the written request to the Commissioner General. This request must state the applicant's qualifications. Submit copies of the same and outline their experience. A copy of the valid passport or identification card, tax returns, and payment of taxes must be made in accordance with Section 60 of the Income Tax Act, Chapter 8101. In addition to this, the preparer of returns were required to pass the competency tests, right, which will be administered by the Guyana Revenue Authority, the Training Division.
Thank you, Ms. Watson, for being part of the program. I am Carolita Edwards. See you next time.
And that's all for this week's Focus on GRA. Visit our website for more information on the tax practice certificate. Our website is gra.gov.gy. You can send us your inquiries via email grapublicrelations@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages for up-to-date tax-related information. Thank you for watching. I'm Tiffany Rodias. Stay safe, everyone.